how it got there, okay? So let's get to the news instead. Attorney General Merrick Garland defends special counsel after Trump's attacks.
Out of Washington, where U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland is responding.
Not legally allowed, but Twitch TOS terms of service legally allowed. Oh, speaking of Twitch made an update, which is like kind of good, I think. I haven't fully gotten the details on it, but it seems like people are very happy and positive.
Responding to Donald Trump's attacks on the Justice Department and defending special counsel Jack Smith. Smith, of course, is leading the investigation that led to 37 felony counts against the former president over his handling of documents marked classified. Robert Costa is at the Justice Department for us this morning. Bob, good morning.
Good morning, Tony. For the Justice Department, this is yet another standoff with Trump where its integrity is being assailed by one of the most powerful Republicans in the country. And yesterday, its leader pushed back.
Mr. Smith is a veteran career prosecutor.
Attorney General Merrick Garland is speaking out for the first time since the indictment of former President Trump and defending special counsel Jack Smith.
As I said when I appointed Mr. Smith, I did so because it underscores the Justice Department's commitment to both independence and accountability.
His defense comes after Trump has repeatedly attacked Smith.
I've named him Deranged Jack Smith.
On Tuesday, Trump pleaded not guilty to 37 felony counts for allegedly retaining classified documents after he left the White House and failing to turn them over to Justice Department investigators. On the campaign trail, a number of Trump's 2024 rivals are beginning to express concerns about the charges.
I can't defend what is alleged. I know the risk that, as I said, even inadvertent release of classified information about our national security could present to our armed forces.
But while former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley has criticized Trump's alleged actions, she says she would be inclined to pardon him if convicted.
When you look at a pardon, the issue is less about guilt and more about what's good for the country. And I think it would be terrible for the country to have a former president in prison for years because of a documents case.
Other 2024 contenders say, hold on.
It's simply wrong to be discussing a pardon whenever we really have not gotten the facts out.
Despite these legal challenges, Trump and his campaign continue to project confidence, claiming they have raised more than $7 million since Trump was indicted. Still, some sources close to rival Republican campaigns, they tell me they sense Trump is growing increasingly vulnerable. Tony?
And speaking of rivals, Bob, it looks like another Republican has joined the race against Donald Trump to replace him on a Republican ticket, and it's another Florida man. What can you tell us about this?
This is the funniest out of nowhere contender on the Republican ticket. I love it, dude. I love it. Miami mayor, Florida man, who also has currently criminal charges against him, has decided to run for office. And he's literally anti-Trump and anti-DeSantis, and openly stated that he hasn't voted for either. Okay? It's such an odd goofball moment. At this point, it's pretty obvious. You literally can't run on the ticket without a charge. Yeah. Who's his base? Every Cuban and Venezuelan person that's over the age of like 30 in the Florida panhandle. That's it. That's like, I feel like he's just there to like try and capture votes away, possibly, which I don't even know if he will, but like try and capture votes away from DeSantis. And his one point of contention with Trump and DeSantis is that he's pro-immigration, which is so weird. Like, what a strange, dude, Republican politics is, just American politics is so crazy.
Another Florida man. That's right. Miami Mayor Francis Suarez is set to officially join the Republican president.
For the record, Francis Suarez is like an absolute sociopath. If you remember, friends of the show probably know, Francis Suarez is the guy who very famously was talking about like my people yearn for freedom. SOS Cuba. Remember when like They tried to do like we got a free Cuba shit. And it was like big deal. It was a big deal in like national politics for like a moment, for like a second and a half. And he, as a Cuban man, said we need to drone strike Cuba. He's also, this is yet another one of my favorite things, a big crypto bro and a Bitcoin mayor, much like Eric Adams. Yeah, he wanted to airstrike Cuba. Hashtag SOS Cuba, my people yearn for freedom. Like, he actually did the meme. You know how I always say, like, not today, Langley, not today, CIA. Whenever someone in the chat goes, oh, I'm actually Iranian and I want America to nuke my country. Like, I want America to turn Iran into glass because that's what we want as Iranians living in Iran. And I'm like, okay, shut the fuck up. He did that, but for Cuba.
Presidential race today, making it official as the first Latino Republican candidate to join this field. Suarez is one of now 3 Republicans vying for the Republican nomination, joining Trump and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Suarez does have some support in Miami, but this will be his first test on the national stage. And as part of that, he will speak tonight at the Reagan Presidential Library. Tony.
Bob, thank you very much.
All right, joining us now with more.
All right, here it is. Let's get started on our fucking squealing little piglets. Hogwatch is starting with Lindsey Jebediah Graham. There she is.
South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham is with us. I think I like this a lot. Maybe we should have Lindsey Graham. Let me finish.
Let me finish.
You know, they call it whataboutism. That's the new favorite phrase of the left and the media and Democrats. Not whataboutism. Isn't it about equal justice and equal application of our laws?
Well, number one, George Stephanopoulos had no idea what I was talking about. I might as well have been talking Chinese. He didn't know that Hillary Clinton's people took a hammer to a BlackBerry. He didn't know they wiped the emails clean. He didn't know that.
This is really funny. It's very like licking your wounds after you got destroyed. Like, it's such a funny thing that everybody does. Everybody loves doing that, where they go back to their own audience and they're like, I actually did not get owned. I mean, he did. He literally fucking did.
Anthony Weiner wound up with classified information on his computer. He didn't know any of that because when the Democrats accuse of something they don't know.
He needs to watch this show. He'll learn something.
Yeah, there you go. I agree. And happy birthday, President Trump, because he's watching this show. So I talked to him. Hey, pal. You had dinner with Melania and Ivanka. We got your back. President Trump, we have your back. This is not about you. It's about us. You could take the Dalai Lama and make him the Republican nominee that try to destroy his life. They hate conservatism. This is a bunch of BS. President Trump, you're going to prevail. You're going to be the Republican nominee, and you're going to be president again. Just hang in there.
Like, what happened? Is Trump? Did Trump catch Lindsey Graham like with some twink femboys or something? Like, I mean, I guess it doesn't take much to like win over Lindsey Graham, but remember Lindsey Graham's best friend, rest in piss, John McCain, died. And Donald Trump very clearly, even before his death, in his last couple of years on this earth, made John McCain's life a living hell by straight up saying that John McCain was tortured and captured and he's a fucking loser for it and all this shit. And like Lindsey Graham was supposed to be this, Maverick style, center right guy, which was always a lie. Obviously, none of these guys are actually like that, and neither is John McCain. But like, he went from straight up like being critical of Donald Trump to very quickly being Donald Trump's best blood boy out there. And he did it as Donald Trump was basically torturing his best friend, John McCain, like he's a part of the fucking North Vietnamese Liberation Front. I mean, it was crazy. It's crazy to watch. He was like trying to play golf with Donald Trump as Donald Trump was like, John McCain sucks.
What do you make? How is it possible the things you were explaining? You don't believe that George Stephanopoulos knew. I give him a little more credit than that. I think he knew damn well about the 33,000 deleted emails. He's heard about BleachBit. He's heard about hammers destroying BlackBerries and iPhones. They know all about it. And yet they protect their own. And they're willing to have a complete double standard because the media is basically an extension of all things, radical, new Green Deal, Democratic Socialist Party, are they not?
Right. Yeah, okay. John McCain was great until he became the nominee. Then he was a crazy old man. Mitt Romney was a heartless billionaire who put the dog on top of the car.
Oh, my God. Using Bestie's name like this to defend Donald Trump, that's awesome. I love that.
Here's what I want to tell every conservative Republican. Whether you like Trump or not, it is not about Trump. If you're pro-life and you believe in responsible gun ownership and you want to limit the role of the federal government, you're the enemy of the people. President Trump was one hell of a president on all the things that I care about. They're trying to destroy his life. It's not going to work, and here's what's coming next. Watch for an indictment in Washington, D.C. You could convict any Republican in America of anything in Washington, D.C. He got 5%.
Not really. I mean, Lindsay, Dennis Hastert was diddling children and was the record holder for longest running Speaker of the House. Like, it's not all that easy to convict Republicans, especially Republicans, right? It's just not true. This is just not a truthful statement. You know what I mean?
Of the vote. Here's what I worry about, that Mr. Smith will indict President Trump for January the 6th activity in Washington, D.C. If he does that, that means he has no confidence in the Florida case. I hope and pray that Mr. Smith will not do that, because that will tear this country apart. President Trump has been treated unlike anybody I've known in this business, and I've been around since 1995. What they hate about him the most, he's broken through to working people. He's a threat to the left unlike anybody since Ronald Reagan. And Mr. President, President Trump, talk about the future, pal. We got you back.
Let me ask you a last question. Now we're talking about a New York case with Alvin Bragg. Then you're talking about a Miami case. Now they've been mentioning all day a New Jersey case. Now you're talking about a Washington, D.C. case. I have every belief that, just like in New York, when you have AGs and prosecutors run on a campaign to go after one man, the same thing's going to happen down in Fulton County, Georgia. How do you run for president with all of those legal hurdles in front of you? That's not easy.
So Hillary Clinton said something that was very, I think, telling. They have not yet broken. I can't believe they haven't broken after this. The goal is to find something that will break us from Trump. And the reason they're not going to break us is we see through this, that if Donald Trump took a hammer to a BlackBerry, it'd be front page news. The double standard is real, and they're literally trying to find something to break the Republican Party from Donald Trump. They fear this man. They fear his ability to come back and turn America around. They fear him more than anybody else, and that ought to tell you something about President Donald Trump. The Democrats want to destroy his life because they fear him. And from my point of view, conservatism is in good hands with President Donald Trump, and that's his biggest crime.
God, he's such
Senator
a cuck.
Lindsey Graham, South Carolina, thank you for being with us. Hey, Sean Hannity here.
He's such a fucking cuck.